Hi, Bethlehem. As you can see, I am away from the office today, but I still wanted to make a quick video about our sermon on Sunday. As you know, we're in this sermon series entitled Kingdom Stories as we take a look at a few of the parables that Jesus told. Now, a parable is a simple story that illustrates a truth. Now, in the case of Jesus, Jesus often used parables to illustrate the truth about the kingdom of God. But to really understand the parable, even though it's a simple story, one needs to meditate on it. That means we are to listen to it, we're to think about it, we're to ask questions of it, we're to pray it, we are to let it become part of our thought process. And in this way, we gain wisdom. I really think meditation is the key to understanding not only the parables, but to the entire Bible. That as we meditate on the Bible, we bring the truth, its truth into our lives, and we make it a part of who we are, a part of our thought process, a part of our decision-making process. And it becomes second nature to follow God's wisdom. Now, one of the parables Jesus told was a parable that dealt with opposition or resistance. It's a parable called the parable of the wheat and the weeds. And in the parable, there's a farmer who goes and he plants wheat in a field. That night, an enemy comes and plants a weed amongst the wheat. And this weed was probably darnel, because darnel looks exactly like wheat until the heads begin to form. And when that begins to happen, the farmer's workers come to him and say, "Hey, there's weeds among the wheat. What should we do? Who's done this?" The farmer says, "An enemy has." The workers say, "Well, should we pull it out?" And the farmer says, "No, you'll damage the wheat. Now, we'll wait, and when the harvest comes, we'll sort out the darnel, the weeds, first, and bundle them up and burn them, and then we will take the wheat and put them into the barn." Now, I think there's two important truths that we get from this parable. First of all, Jesus is telling us that we should expect resistance or opposition. Remember, the gospel or the proclamation, the message that Jesus is the one true King of the universe, and that through his death, resurrection, and return, he will make everything right. That message, and as we live that message out, that opposes Satan. That is anti-satanic. And because Satan is opposed to God, he doesn't want God to win. And so he will come and oppose us. He'll come and oppose the gospel. And we need to remember that. We need to prepare for that. And as we proclaim the gospel, as we do good, there will be evil there as well. And that brings us to the second important truth that Jesus wants us to understand. And that is that we need to focus on the gospel, on the good, and not the evil. The workers wanted to focus on the weeds and pull them up. But no, the farmer says, no, let them coexist, because that's what's best for the wheat. Focus on the wheat. Focus on the gospel. See, it's my belief that the best way to fight against evil, the best way to get sin out of our own life, is to focus on the good, to continue to do what the gospel asks us to do, to make disciples. And in that way, we push out the evil that is around us. We push out the evil that is in our own heart. So we need to trust or believe in our own calling, focus on the calling that God has given us to make disciples, and to trust him to sort things out in the end. And so that is our big idea this week, is to trust God to make things right. And our challenge is to each day find one way the gospel is impacting the world, and then make a list. Make a list each day, add to that list of how the gospel is impacting the world. Thanks for listening, Bethlehem. Remember this Sunday, we have one of our bonfire nights. And I hope that you will join us at 10:30 for our worship service. Thank you, and God bless.